before we consider the financial statements, I will first request the representative of the auditors to read the auditor's report, please.
The auditor's report is on page 14 of the financial statements, of the annual report, sorry, and I'll go straight to it. Report of the independent auditor to the members of KenolKobil Limited. Report on the financial statements. We have audited the accompanying consolidated financial statements of KenolKobil Limited, the company, and its subsidiaries, together the group, as set out on pages 18 to 70. These financial statements comprise the consolidated statement of financial position at 31st December 2010, and the consolidated income statement, consolidated statement of comprehensive income, consolidated statement of changes in equity, and the consolidated statement of cash flows for the year then ended, together with the statement of financial position of the company standing alone as at 31st December 2010, and the statement of changes in equity of the company for the year then ended, and a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory notes. Directors' responsibility for the financial statements. The directors are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and with the requirements of the Kenyan Companies Act, and for such internal control as the directors determine necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatements, whether due to fraud or error. Auditor's responsibility. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on the financial statements based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Those standards require that we comply with ethical requirements and plan and perform our audit to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. The procedures selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of the risks of material misstatement of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. In making those risk assessments, the auditor considers internal control relevant to the company's preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purposes of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the company's internal control. An audit also includes evaluating the appropriateness of the accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates made by the directors, as well as evaluating the overall presentation of the financial statements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the financial affairs of the group and of the company at 31st December 2010, and of the profit and cash flows of the group for the year then ended, in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and the Kenyan Companies Act. Report on other legal requirements. The Kenyan Companies Act requires that in carrying out our audit, we consider and report to you on the following matters. We confirm that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purposes of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept by the company, so far as appears from my examination of those books. And 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts. And the accounts were signed by PricewaterhouseCoopers on 25th of March 2011.
Thank you, Peter. I shall now be pleased, together with your board of directors and members of the group management team, to answer any question on the financial statements, and I want to emphasize on the financial statements. Let's be focused on it. And we open the floor for shareholders to ask.
My name is Hussein. I have only one question, and that one relates to your claim against Kenya Pipeline Company. You have seen in the papers that you have been given an award by the court. Now, getting that award has become problematic, and as we read in the newspaper. Now, I have seen the group chairman's report, and I've seen the financial statement. I don't see that claim anywhere as to whether they are even though they are material, whether they are going to be paid or not paid, and therefore provision to be made. Now, my question is, what's the progress on that line, and how was that claim, which is an award, a court award, treated in the accounts? Thank you.
I may just say that this award is nowhere in the P&L. I think we mentioned it several times in communication to shareholders. It is true, it is not in our P&L, and there is no need for the time being or any point to account for it. As to the status of this whole issue, we have a member of our board who is a lawyer and actually dealing with this matter, and I would ask him to respond to it.
Yes, the status of this award is that there's an appeal which was lodged by KPC in the High Court. That appeal has not been heard, and KPC applied to the court that the award should not be paid until the appeal is heard, on the basis that if they succeed on appeal, then perhaps the figure which has to be paid would be reduced, or the entire liability may be eliminated. Pending appeal, that award was, so that stay order was given on condition that they deposit the amount in a joint account of KenolKobil and the account of KPC. They were given 14 days within which to do it, and they failed to fulfill that condition. Ideally, if they were following the rule of law, we should have been allowed to go to the next step, which is to attach their property. But that has not happened yet. We have given them an opportunity to consider the order of the court and to comply. They have raised the issue that the award itself provided for the mode of payment. And that mode of payment was that KPC was supposed to deduct the amount which they owed KenolKobil against future invoices. So we have asked them to comply with that order by making that deduction, and they have so far failed to do it. So we want to do it, we want to take measures against KPC in accordance with the law. So we are going back to court to seek court orders to compel them to comply with the previous court order that's required them to do so. That may come up in May or June. Now, I would like you to separate two things. There's the appeal, which deals with the merit or others of the award, and there is this interim position before the appeal is heard. According to the law, the mere filing of an appeal itself does not operate as a stay of an award which has been given. So we have the right to recover that amount pending appeal if they don't provide the security. And we are working very hard to ensure that the law takes its course. So we shall update you of these efforts we are making and the progress we are making on those efforts as we go along. I think that is sufficient unless you require further clarification.
is proceeding. I know appeals may take 2 years or even 5 years. They have not complied with the stay order. But in the meantime, what is happening is for any services you acquire from KPLC,
See.
Kenya Pipeline, they will deduct it from the award amount. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that is
Until
what.
such time that either they make a deposit and therefore appeal is heard, either the figure is increased or reduced. That is what is in the meantime happening.
That's what ought to be happening,
But it's not happening.
but it's not happening.
Okay, thanks.
So, because it's not happening,
Then you have to.
we have to go back to court to ensure that the court gives an order, an appropriate order to compel them to obey the law.
If I may just add, and I'm not a lawyer, but the award itself refers to the modalities of KPC paying it to KenolKobil. And it does say that they will deduct it, meaning that for it, instead of us paying, say, 100 million per month for services, we'll be paying, say, 25, and the 75 is on account of that award. They've not been complying with it. That's the issue which we are considering going now to court. But in addition, and correct me, Mr. Oyatsi, we have given them a notice of 21 days for winding up KPC. Is that the case? And it was done early this month.
That is true, and it was done on the basis, as I've said, that according to the law, they owe that money to us because the court made it very clear that after 14 days, if they did not comply with the order of depositing the amount in the joint account, then it was a debt due to us and we can take whatever measures we require to take to enforce it. So in addition to requiring them to obey the award by deducting the amount from future invoices, if they fail to do so, or if they refuse to do so, then we have the options to consider other alternatives. And one of those alternatives that we considered was to serve them a winding up notice, which basically is a notice to say that if you are unable to pay your debts within 21 days, then we as a creditor are entitled under the law to petition for the winding up of the company.
Thank you. Just final statement as management of your company, we want you to rest assured that we will do everything possible to protect our rights and these potential assets in that award be crystallized. It will take time, we knew it, and I know you are quite involved in the oil industry, so you do follow what's going on. You can rest assured your management will take care, and at the end of the day, we'll win this case, and that will be crystallized into actual payment from KPC to KenolKobil.